So first time that we're doing virtual when it comes to Wine Wednesday, and the reason is that I've got Randi Klassen. She's with Pair Tasting Events, and basically for this particular one, we're finding out about her custom kits. And I know that she had given me a list of them. Thank you so much, Randy. It was tough to decide. I may have to try each one as we go later down the road. But the one I chose was Burgundy and Bordeaux tasting. So you were kind enough to put it all together for me and drop it off. Just going to show everybody here in a moment.
It gets heavy.
It does, but it's so nice. Okay, let me just make sure everybody can see that. Whoops, let me just take a little note there.
It looks
So
good.
it does, and it has, so you've got some cheeses in there and some meats, and then of course the two wines.
Yes.
Okay, perfect. All right, so let's walk through what I'm going to be doing with this and what what's the whole thought process behind
For
it.
sure. So the first thing you need to grab is that card that is in the front. So that describes exactly how to go about tasting. And I think I make some joke in there about how you want to taste the wine first and drink it second, so you can get the most out of it. So that card on the front will describe exactly how to do a wine tasting, how to swish and swirl and get all sloppy with it so that it's enjoyable. And then it also shows you which wines to drink first and which wines to drink second, which are very important, and how to pair your cheeses and all of those things. So yeah, go ahead. Let's see.
Right, I'm just pulling out the bottles. So
Perfect.
Okay, let's talk about this first wine.
Awesome. So this is the Côte Bourgogne or Bourgogne. It is the so you'll see on it has a tag that says wine number 1. So that is to help guide you. And then if you look in the basket, the cheese should have a wine number 1 or a number 1 sticker on it.
Oh, yes. Okay.
And so that's to make it foolproof that those two are the ones that belong together.
Okay.
So this one is a general appellation vin de Bourgogne. So this wine, that means that this wine can come from anywhere in the appellation Burgundy, and which is good because it is price friendly. Burgundy wines are some of the most expensive wines in the world, so it's a good chance to try it and not get too crazy into it. So on your tasting card, I would explain where it's from and the things that you're going to enjoy about it. So when you open it up and you get it into your glass, you can tip it and look at it over a white piece of paper. And for everyone who's watching, I'll show you. So I take a white piece of paper in front of me.
Okay.
And I tip the wine and I look at it to assess the color. So you want to make a mental note. If you have 2 wine glasses for these tastings, that would even be better.
Which I do.
Perfect.
I got 2, yeah.
So when you get them out, you can put the wine glasses side by side to assess the color. And color, it can tell you a lot about a wine, but they can actually add colors to wines and not put it on the label. Did you know that?
I did not know.
Yeah. So if they don't like the way their wine color comes out, this is across the world, they can actually add artificial coloring. So don't get hung up on colors. What you should notice is that this first wine is nice and lightly colored. And it will be very reflective of the flavors that come out of it.
Okay, so I'm going to pour this one.
Splash.
Just like that?
Yeah, that's perfect.
Okay.
Good tasting is like 1 to 2 ounces.
Yeah.
And it should be clear. Should be able to see through it.
Sorry, my cat wants to join us.
Oh, yeah. Everyone wants to join
it's got
us.
a nice fragrance to it. Nice fragrance as well.
Yeah.
And so you said to taste it with which cheese?
So the cheese I selected for the Burgundy wine is the Brie. So it's from Alexis de Portneuf in Quebec. It's this beautiful cheesery over there. They make this really, really creamy, earthy, mushroomy cheese, and it is perfect for Burgundy because Burgundy is known for its earthy qualities and its mushroomy qualities that it gets from all of its complex soils. So those flavors just pair so well and bring out the mushroomy characters of the wine, which makes it interesting to drink. But at the same time, our wine is nice and fruity, so it's a nice and good contrast. as well.
All right, so I've got my cheese knife here and I'm all set to cut off a piece. All right. All right, so I've got a piece of the cheese
Yeah.
and I've got the wine. So do I eat the cheese first, then the wine, or does it
So
matter?
in my tasting package, it'll tell you exactly how to do this. You want to take a sip of your wine and you want to
Okay.
slosh it all around your mouth. Take a good mouthwash, really.
Oh, okay, whoops, let me try that
That's
again.
like proper tasting.
I think I need
So
to add
again,
more
we're
wine.
tasting, not drinking. Then just take a bite of the cheese and notice how the flavors in your mouth are either brought out or change. And you'll notice that it should be delicious together, hopefully.
Mm. Oh my goodness, it does pair really well.
It brings out the earthy qualities of this wine, which is good because it is a just a general Appellation Burgundy, but it helps bring out the more complex flavors of it. And then my third tip for tasting is to try them together. So like literally chew it up in your mouth and take one
As
at
you're
the same
drinking and
time. Yeah.
so, oh my goodness. Okay. So I've done that. All right. And I love how you made up the basket and everything. It's so nicely done up.
Yeah, I want it to look good enough to send to people. So if you want
Mhm.
to send it as a gift, it comes really nicely packaged and it comes all explained. So someone could do the tasting at home. Even if they were unfamiliar with wine, they could still enjoy it. So
Oh, perfect. Okay. All right. So you've also given me sausage, I think. Yes.
yeah,
Oh,
that's a
salami.
Barolo based sausage. So they've actually infused that one with an Italian wine
Okay.
called Barolo.
Yeah.
Yeah,
This one here, I'll hold them up there just so we can show. Am I holding them up
perfect.
right? Yeah. Okay, good. Yeah.
And then that's an
Nice.
Alexis de Courtenauff cheese as well. That one's a hard cheese that is very fragrant, very pungent. And I've paired that one with your Bordeaux.
Yes, I
So
see
you'll
number two on
notice,
there. Okay, so I got to open
yeah.
the
So
Bordeaux. All
you
right,
have
so
a
that's a
number two
Chateau
one.
Pilatour, I think it is in
Yeah,
here. Nice. Okay. You go ahead and tell us about the wine, and I'll open up this bottle.
perfect. So that wine is a general appellation Bordeaux as well, from the Entre de Mer, which is the Bordeaux region, has two rivers that split. So it forms into three sections, and that one's from the middle. So this one has a good portion of Merlot in it,
Mm.
a good portion of Cabernet Sauvignon, and then some Cabernet Franc.
Oh,
Um,
nice.
yeah, Cabernet Franc, and people sometimes, one of the myths that I like to dispel is people think that blends are bad, but blends are actually one of the most beautiful parts about wine because it's the winemaker's interpretation of the best qualities of the grape all being put into that bottle. So they're trying to blend it so that it's beautiful. And the beautiful thing about Cabernet Merlot is it's this like jam donut situation.
Okay.
The Merlot is the fruity, the ripe, the rich part in the middle. And the Cabernet Sauvignon creates the structure. So it is nicely tannic, structured, really good with food, also ageable. It can sit in cellars for 10, 15, 20 years, 40, 50 years for the great stuff because the Cabernet Sauvignon is a very structured wine. And then the Merlot packs that really nice fruity punch. So these things belong together.
All
Cabernet,
right.
yeah, let's pour it.
Okay, so yeah, so I've opened it. See here. Oh, I don't want to pour too much. There we go. All right.
So let's compare it with the other one in terms of color.
It's
It's hard
much
to see over
deeper.
video.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But from what I could see, this one is much deeper. The wine number two is definitely much darker
Yes.
than this one is. But it
Good.
also, yeah. And yeah, definitely deeper. Let's see. For when it goes around the glass, they seem to be about the same.
They should
So,
be similar levels of alcohol. So when you do swirl and you see those legs, that's the
mm,
level of alcohol that's
yeah,
sticking to the
they
side
would
of the
see.
glass.
Definitely a different smell too, because like you
Yeah.
said, it's mixtures of both. Like it's the Merlot and the Cabernet Sauvignon, which I love both. So I cannot
So
wait to taste it. Mm.
yeah, your second one, you should get more cedary qualities.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
The fruit should be deeper, blacker, richer. To me, I love that cedar. It's like being in a Christmas tree forest when
Oh,
I drink
yeah.
Cabernet Sauvignon.
It does smell so good. Yeah, because the other one I think is a little bit more fruitier in the sense,
Yeah.
and then this one, yeah, definitely a deeper kind of like you said with the cedar.
And you'll
And
notice
it tastes
when
good.
we talk in our tasting kit for this one, it's a really good chance to talk about body of wine. So you have a really light burgundy that is really light on the palate, low in tannin. And then you have your more intense Cabernet Sauvignon Merlot from Bordeaux. And those wines have more structure and more body. So it's a really good chance side by side to see, do you like structured wines? Do you like tannic wines? And
Uh-huh.
then you
Yeah.
can kind of aim what you want when you go to the liquor store next, what's better to buy.
And then you'll have a better idea. So do I do the meat with this one too? With this
Yeah,
one?
so the
Okay.
meat should go with both, but in my
Okay.
opinion, it does go better with the Bordeaux.
Okay.
Um, Barolo, the wine infused in that meat, is an intensely tannic, intensely fruited wine from Italy. And so the flavors and the profile of it should go better with the Bordeaux, in my opinion. But the perfect thing about tasting is that it's an adventure for yourself and you get to form your own opinion.
Okay, so I've got a piece of each. So I've got a piece of the cheese that you recommended to go with number two,
Mhm.
and also a piece of meat. Is there skin on this? Did I have to peel skin?
There
Oh,
is
yeah.
a little bit of a, yeah.
I want to make sure before I bite into that. Okay, so we got the wine.
Mm. So you'll notice this one's much more
Mm.
tannic. It's going to dry out your tongue more, your cheeks more. But the beautiful thing about cheese is once you eat a piece of that cheese, what it's going to do is create proteins in your mouth,
Okay.
which don't allow the tannin to bind to your mouth. So now when you go back to your wine, it's going to seem less tannic. It's going to be more friendly.
This is so good.
Yeah. The Cantoneer is super good from Alexis Putinoff. It's a delicious cheese.
Oh, it's so good.
But when you go back to the wine, hopefully it's less tannic.
It is. It's almost like it does something to you, like you said, in your mouth.
Yeah.
So, oh my goodness.
So the
This is a
fats
great
and
pairing.
proteins in cheeses affect the actual chemical bonding of the tannin to your mouth. It
Mhm.
just makes for such a drinkable, beautiful wine, and that is why it's meant to be enjoyed together. The foods of France, we all know, are like highly creamy, highly meaty, highly buttery, and that's why this wine it grew up with those foods because it could stand up to them. So that's why they're delicious together.
Oh, that's awesome. Well, I'm glad that I had a chance to try this one. And there's so many more to choose from, and they all have themes to them, right? And you basically, like you said, you give us an idea of how the tasting should go, and then do you also offer to do a virtual with the kits themselves too?
I could definitely do that for you.
Yeah.
I do offer some similar packages in my virtual tastings, but I also do custom ones. So if someone is like, we really want to learn about wines from Greece, I
Oh,
can always make a custom virtual tasting for you or basket. So
and what I love about this is that it's a great gift idea for couples if you want to have like that one evening where you can kind of, you're not too sure of types of wines and foods to go and you just want to do it to have a romantic evening with candles and all, you've got that covered for them. Or even
yeah,
if you've got like a bachelorette party, how much fun would that be with a couple of these kits, right?
yeah, exactly. It's yeah, it's meant to be super friendly that anyone can grab a kit and enjoy their night. Perfect date night, perfect mother-daughter event on a Sunday afternoon with face masks. Like it's awesome.
Well, Randy, thank you so much. I'm going to enjoy the rest of my wines choices.
Good.
I'll probably save them for my hubby, and him and I'll do them, have it later. So this afternoon, but that all depends on the wine,
Right?
how long it lasts, right? That's awesome. Please let us know one more time your Facebook and social media.
Paired tasting events on Instagram and Facebook.